Guys and girls, welcome into the stream, and I hope that you're having yourself a wonderful Wednesday thus far. I'm just getting everything kind of set up here and ready to rock and roll because we're going to be taking a look at some various different slips. We have a massive slate of games today in the NBA. We have a lot going on we have about 4 NHL games, but really a big slate of NBA games and a lot of news that's happening. So we're going to take a look at a lot of player props during this stream using some of my favorite tools and just showcasing you how I like to use them, how I like to make money sports betting, and just share that. So appreciate you tuning in. We're going to kind of start off as our typical DFS. Look at PrizePicks, look at Underdog, look at Better, look at DraftKings Pick 6, look at Dabble. There's some promos right now going on Better that we want to take advantage of. Trent, Saints, what's going on, guys? Welcome in. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. So let me refresh the page here just so we're getting the best plays on the Sharp Money tool. And I don't see any orange logos popping up here, so a little bit here down with Advida. So we're going to skip the McCollum play at the moment. Head over here to Malik Monk. Just dropped a video on the channel, guys, at roughly 2 hours ago talking about the Sharp Money tool and talking about Bet 105. And one thing that I definitely want to talk about, just touch on briefly, the Sharp Money tool sometimes, as I've mentioned before in previous streams, does show positive EV plays. You know, this tool was looking at the liquidity between the exchanges and then showcasing to you where there's a high amount of money placed on a certain bet. So, and someone made a comment recently on the video that they just dropped that they think it's a way to manipulate people into tricking people. And I just wanted to talk about that for 2 seconds, which is this is a fundamentally different strategy than top-down positive EV betting, right? Professional sports bettors use what's called a bottom-up approach to sports betting. So if we're looking at the NFL and I'm looking at a slate of games and I'm looking at the Jets and the Ravens and I'm taking a look at this point spread here, and you can see that a lot of books have this between minus 110 or minus 108 on either side. Using a top-down sports betting approach, we can't really figure out what's what here because all the pricing is exactly the same. In order to use a top-down sports betting strategy, we need one sports book to offer a price or their odds that's way off compared to the rest of the market. With a bottom-up sports betting approach, these are professional bettors that have models, sophisticated models that tell them, listen, this play on the Ravens at minus 13.5, all the sports books think this should be minus 110. Our model thinks that this should be minus 150. So that means anything below minus 130, that's a fair price. If the fair is minus 130, removing the VIG, finding out what the fair odds are. Anything below minus 130 is a very EV play. You want to bet the Ravens anywhere below minus 130. So when we use the Sharp Money tool, we have belief in the fact that someone out here who's looking to put up $1,700 and they want to bet Malik Monk's under 2.5 rebounds, they have a sophisticated model. That is the belief behind the Sharp Money tool, is that there is a professional sports bettor. This isn't just some rich schmuck that's bored and likes to bet on the NBA. That we believe that this is a sharp sports bettor, a professional that has a model that is putting up large amounts of liquidity. So the main fundamental difference with this strategy compared to positive EV betting and top down is that you believe that the people that are posting these large amounts of liquidity, they are professionals. And if you don't believe that, that's totally fine. I would say don't use the Sharp Money tool and just use the positive EV tool, the arbitrage tool. So let's take a look at Malik Monk. And let's see what we have going on over here. The under 2.5 rebounds. I will grab that. Tage Thompson over on his shots on goal. Somebody wants this at minus 126. We can get this at a good price at minus 122 on a 3-pick entry with no insurance. So we're taking the over there. What else do we have? Con over 22.5 points and rebounds. This is a very good price compared to FanDuel. I can get down with this. And if I can hurry, we can grab this one and I can share this with you guys. This has been a tool that's been introduced onto OddsJam, I would say now for the last month. And it's a very interesting tool. It's definitely changed things. It gives us access to insights into the sharp bettors when it comes to the most popular exchanges in America. So again, this just comes down to a core fundamental belief, guys. If you don't believe in this tool, then don't tail any of these slips. Don't tail any of the plays that I give out from this tool. Just wait till I get to the arbitrage tool or the positive EV tool. If you believe, like I do, that these are people that are putting up massive amounts of money and they don't necessarily need to use a top-down sports betting approach, then I think that this can be a very successful, profitable tool for you. It will be no different, your ride using sharp money compared to the positive EV tool. There are going to be bumps. There will be highs. There will be lows. But overall, when you get down a lot of volume on these plays, you should end up profitable. All right, so there's that 3-pick entry over there on PrizePicks. Good stuff. Let's catch up with everyone in the chat. 49ers Faithful, what's going on? Wilbo, evening. Daniel, what's happening? Irish, what's happening? Hidden Hope, what's going on? Matt, MP, what's going on? Trey, do PP and underdog. Trey, just did PP. Working on underdog right now, brother. Bear with me for a minute. What else do we got here? All right, so same with better here. Link tray. Sorry, wrong link. Apologies. Thought I threw the right link down. Did I not throw the right link down? Thanks, Trey. Thanks for keeping me on top. Wondering, Dr. Slips, anyone here uses Bet Now? Yeah, so Dr. Slips, I've used Bet Now, but I would say that I'll place like 2 bets a week on Bet Now right now. There's just a couple here, a couple there. I would leave maybe like, I don't know, 10% of your balance, maybe 20% at most of your balance left in that book, and then just go use that somewhere else. I would say, and then just keep like 10 to 20% in there, and then just bet on the other books. Better does have a discount right now for Karl Anthony Towns over on his points and rebounds. So I'm going to grab that, and then I'm going to pair this with McCollum. Under 17.5 points. Okay. I could go back to grab Tage Thompson again, or I could spice things up and go somewhere else if there is anything else here. Denny Advida under 29.5 points. This is very low liquidity, so I don't really like seeing this. So let me pop open to the optimizer here for a second, and let me just do a quick little scan for better to figure out the third leg here. Dennis Schroeder all day long. All day long on Dennis Schroeder. This is a perfect entry, guys. Max is $10 because I'm taking the Karl Anthony Towns boost. This is what 22 cents off to FanDuel, massively off to Pinnacle. Matt, do you know how often I don't know how often it is updated, my friend. Not sure on that one. That would be definitely something to ask the folks over at OddsJam to see what they have set up. But yeah, not sure how quickly. I would imagine. I mean, in terms of the formula, it's just pulling in the sharp books. So if there's an odds movement from the sharp book, then the formula obviously changes in terms of that specific play. That's basically how it works. It's all just based off of real-time odds. All right, so we got better. We got PrizePicks. Obviously, there's going to be more out there, guys. We could spend more time. I try to give out 1 slip per book. So Dabble and Underdog, this looks very good. Steven Adams on his rebounds. I'll just put this in on my phone here at the moment. So looking at the over 8.5. I like that. Okay. And then what else do we have here? Quentin Post over 5.5 rebounds. Basically, almost the entire starting 5 for the Warriors is out today. No Steph, no Kuminga, no Draymond, no Jimmy Butler. Quentin Post over 5.5. Cool. And then what else do we have? Caleb Love over 13.5 points. All right. So there we go. And let me do this. And I'll take a little screenshot there. All right, I'm in for a 3-pick slip. I'm going to share that link with you guys here in just a second. Why is this not working for me? No, that's not working for me. All right, guys. I'm having trouble sharing this one on Underdog. Caleb Love, take his over 13.5 points. Take Quentin Post over 5.5 rebounds. And take Steven Adams over 8.5 rebounds. Yeah, Chris, I mean, that would be the play. Over on Post and Adams on their rebounds, over on Caleb Love on his points. So for Underdog. This play, also this slip, you can use Steven Adams. You can use Caleb Love and the over on Tage Thompson on Dabble. So kind of feeding 2 birds with 1 scone. You can hit the over on Love, Thompson, and Steven Adams on Dabble. Or you could do Caleb Love over, Quentin Post over, and Steven Adams over on Underdog. If we were going to go over on pick 6 for a boost, the McCollum under, the Quentin Post over, Keyshawn George under 24.5 PRA. Looks all right. Let me log into pick 6. Had a very, you could say I had like either a late lunch or a super early grandma dinner. So apologies there. Glad you guys were able to get that in. So let's go over to pick 6. And let's see what we got. What's the boosts for today? Choose your boosts. 50% boost for 4 picks or 30% boost. $10 or less. I'm always going to go with a 3-pick entry, 30% boost, guys, just because it's 3-pick entries are much better compared to 4-pick entries in terms of their price that we're getting per play. So let's see if I can grab this George play. This could be, it already bumped. So let me refresh the page. We can do McCollum again. Less than 17.5. Somebody wants this at minus 124. Denny Advida under on points. This is going to work for Underdog, pick 6, or Dabble. And then what else? Where's the other? We could do Post or we could do Jared Allen. But again, this Jared Allen play, it's not bad to FanDuel. I'm not really interested in this because of the sharp money. But not bad to FanDuel. This Quentin Post plays a little bit better. So I'm going to double down on Post again. Over 5.5 boards. And I'm going to throw... Where's my boost at? All right, we're going to throw this on here, and I will share this link with you guys right now. Appreciate that, Aaron. Yeah, the Hard Rock bet is just a degenerate bet. Just we're giving away, guys. I'm giving away $300, $100 to 3 people. The Hard Rock bet was just a degenerate bet. I try to mix in some degen bets on the very soft books to try to just camouflage my sharp action. I would highly advise you guys do the same. I wouldn't recommend maybe wagering $100, but if you want to wager $1 to $5 and just build some SGPs on your opinions, while these are going to be poor pricing, I think they can definitely help you with your account health. I think something that way too many people that use a software, they just end up placing sharp bet after sharp bet after sharp bet after sharp bet after sharp bet, and then they throw their hands up in the sky because they can't figure out why they got limited, and it's pretty easy. So I think if you can mix in some parlays for low dollar amounts and bet your opinions, have fun with it. Use these as just opportunities to bet an SGP or a regular traditional parlay, 3, 4, 5 legs or beyond. Have some fun with it. So that's kind of what I'm doing with Hard Rock. And I will be there won't be a stream on Sunday, guys, because I will be at the casino up there in Flagstaff. which is backed by Hard Rock. So I'm very excited about that. Very excited about that. And so there won't be a stream on Sunday. There will be a stream on Saturday, just not on Sunday. And I do apologize about missing this morning's stream. No doubt about that. Didn't mean to do that. But I try to make sure that we hit 2 streams every single morning. All right, so that's kind of where we're at on the Sharp Money tool at the moment for the DFS books. One last one. We'll just make sure we go across the board here. We'll look at Flip for a second. Let's look at minus 200. And would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions, positive or negative, on the video that I just dropped about 2 hours ago. It talks about Bet 105. It's a book that I use a lot. And I love using the Sharp Money tool, betting into Bet 105. And as you know, any Americans that are here know that you can't use Pinnacle. We can't bet on Pinnacle. But if you want it, I love to bet into Pinnacle sometimes. And Bet 105 allows me to do so. They are very close of a copycat to Pinnacle's odds. Sometimes they directly copy. Sometimes it's off by 1 to 3 cents. On this play here for Bruce Brown, I would say this is decent, but I really don't know. There isn't. The problem here with this Bruce Brown play is there just isn't. All these books are really easy to beat. Props Builder, Rebet, BetMGM. So I don't really know if this is a sharp play. So I wouldn't take this play. Would not. But definitely give me your 2 cents on the video, guys. If you think it sucks, let me know why. If it's great, let me know why. At the end of the day, I want to make sure that I'm making content geared towards you guys that you actually enjoy and will use and find value in it. And so, there are certain videos, guys, in the categories that some videos I try to make for the general beginner new sports bettor. Some videos are tried to aim more for the subs that are right here, right now. So I try to make a variety of different videos depending on where you're at in your sports betting journey to kind of cover everything and all. So always appreciate any feedback, and don't be afraid to give it to me straight. If it's raw, if it's bad, someone commented a while back that one of my videos was shit. Appreciate that. Just keep it honest with me. Joker under on points. Obviously, I have him over on a DGen parlay. This looks very good as FanDuel and Pinnacle are aligned here, so bet this under. Russ, I don't mind this at all. His under on assists. So take Joker under points, Russ under on assists. I would probably go then maybe SGA would be the next one if you wanted to, or you could take Benedict Mathurin. SGA under PRA. I'd probably maybe rather take Mathurin, but we'll have to see. Appreciate that, Wilbo. Yeah, I do know that, outside the U.S., cricket is a massive sport. And definitely hurts that they don't have with something like that. Yeah, it's going to be huge, and no bets are coming through. That can definitely be frustrating. Yeah, I know a lot of people here on Dabble got outlawed, banned, but for those if anyone is in the stream right now, actually, I'm going to put a poll up right now. I got to ask. Love to know if there's anyone right now not limited on Dabble. Jack, we'll get there, man, in a minute. We'll see what that looks like. I'm obviously not on DraftKings right now, but we're just kind of still wrapping up here with DFS. Yeah, Irish, good one there on the double with KD, and I would probably lean more Mitchell on that head-to-head boost. Let's pull that up. Also, too, and I know, Jack, you might know this, but just for any of you guys that are new, I try to remember new people that are in here. If you're wondering why I'm going to this DK boost right now instead of looking at the Jamal Murray assist play, it's because Irish is a premium channel member, just like MP and Matt and Saints fan and 49ers faithful and Wilbo. All these guys are channel members. So if they want to bring up something or talk about something, that's one of the perks that you get is we automatically will pull it up on the screen and take a look. That's one of the perks that you get with being a premium channel member. So if you want to jump in that world, just come over to my YouTube homepage, go under memberships for $1.99 a month or $4.99 a month. you can take advantage of that. So the head-to-head boost here, 30% profit boost to score more points. One thing that we could do, guys, is we can obviously, looks like I got a max bet of $25. This is a very good boost. So the first thing that you could do is you could just come over to this Cavs game and take a look. John made $3K in 2 months. Now I'm limited to shit. I guess that's better than making, $2K in 2 months. At least you made some money. So that's the good news. So let's look at the points. This one's always a little sneaky here for me. So if we're looking at Donovan Mitchell, his main line is at 27.5, maybe 28.5. Kevin Durant's at 26.5. So naturally, it's a little easier line for KD. I personally lean Donovan Mitchell. I'd rather take the play on Donovan Mitchell. Now, the one thing I will say is this is already a decent price offered on the KD line. So if you guys want to bet KD, right, you're just getting a boost. But if you want to take the boost on KD, this doesn't look bad. If I come back up here to Mitchell, not quite as good. But Pinnacle has this main line around 28.5. So totally fine with either. But from a positive EV standpoint, this is the better play, which is to take KD. No doubt about that. It definitely is. So let's look at the head-to-heads. Yeah, but the head-to-head for money line, the head-to-head here, I would rather take Mitchell. Never mind. This isn't actually, never mind. It's not based off their points. It's an actual true head-to-head. I'd take Donovan Mitchell all day long. His line is a point higher, even with the boost, guys. This isn't quite, you can't quite quantify this as positive EV, but I still just think this is just the better. I would rather go with Mitchell on that play. So, KD's at 26.5, Mitchell's at 27.5. Give me the boost. It maybe makes it slightly negative EV. If you want to go with the KD play, guys, feel free to do so. That's a tough one, KB. That's a tough one, man. Definitely a tough one. Oh, well, very kind of you, man. I appreciate that. But obviously, no. Obviously, anyone can sit here. Anyone can come in here. My goal is that if you're tailing these plays and these slips, and if you're learning about sharp sports betting, the end goal is I hope that you can learn how to fish for yourself so that you can make some money betting on your own, whether it doesn't have to be OddsJam software. It can be, there's a lot of other great softwares out there at very affordable prices. I'm very biased towards OddsJam because I work for the company and I think they're fantastic. So we're looking at some arbitrage plays. But at the end of the day, if you can learn anything about sharp sports betting from these streams and you can apply that and make money for yourself, that's the end result here. That's the whole reason I do this damn thing. So I always just appreciate you guys tuning in. Obviously, I've expanded my menu and products and services that I offer. Some are very expensive. Some are not as expensive. So obviously, don't feel obligated or you need to support it all, but appreciate those that go above and beyond and do. You guys know who you are. A lot of the channel members, very near and dear. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are unbelievable. Unbelievable. Especially some of you guys in here have been with me for over a year and a half now. So arbitrage betting, all of these tools that I showcase here, guys, you're going to get limited. I don't know how else to tell you that. It's going to happen. You're not going to be able to make $1 million on these accounts. So figure out what's going to be worth it to you. Is arbitrage betting going to be worth it to you to just make the risk-free cash? What's your risk tolerance? Is it high? Then you might want to get into positive EV betting or parlay betting, like DFS. If it's low, stick to arbitrage. But it's a decision that you have to look in the mirror and ask yourself and figure out what it is. You are going to get limited on every sports book if you make money, right? The sports books commercials, as we're just going to highlight some plays here. The sports books commercials, guys, is a bunch of bullshit. The sportsbooks show these people on TV that have their phones and they see this big win on the screen and they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But guess what? The only way that the sportsbooks make money is if people lose. It's an actually adverse relationship. The only way the sportsbooks make money is if their customers lose. So if you make money off the sportsbooks, you're taking money out of their pocket. They don't like that. They don't want those types of customers. This whole entire stream is aimed at showing you how to do so. So the ride will come to an end at some point with all of these sports books. And whether you get into multi-accounting or if you start to work with professional sports bettors or try to create your own models to create a bottom-up approach so that you can bet in the lines that are minus 110, that's kind of the next steps in evolution of this. So I just always get a kick out of the people that comment on my arbitrage videos that are like, yeah, the strategy works, but it's a bunch of bullshit. And I'm like, well, you're not going to make you're not going to make $1 billion on this. It's just not how it works. It's the fundamental relationship between the customer and the sports book. They're already at odds against each other. So, the first thing that you just want to make sure when you use this tool, guys, naturally, make sure that there's a hook at the end like this 0.5 on Eubanks, Conley. That's what you want to see. A lot of really good plays right here. Over 6% returns on your investment, 9% returns on your investment. Some of these might be phantom plays at the moment, right? Onyx isn't exactly the sharpest tool in the shed, right? We all went to school with a kid or a girl that got like D's at best in class. You look back, you knew they weren't passing the test. You knew you didn't want to look at their test to get the answers on. Some of these books are just, there's no different. The Hard Rocks of the world, the Bet Rivers, the Bally Bets, the Fanatics of the world, the BetMGMs, they know they can be beat. So instead of them trying to fix their algorithm, they're just going to kick you out and only let you wager $5 a play. So you want to be strategic with how you attack these books. But arbitrage betting right now at this specific time of the day, not bad. Right? Not maybe as ideal taking this Jalen Smith play because this game starts at 8 o'clock. We're still 3.5 hours away. But if we can find a play for 5 o'clock or even 6 o'clock, that's not bad, right? So these are all little things that you want to really pay attention to. And again, working with me one-on-one with coaching, these are types of little things that we talk about, trying to set you up for success based on where you live, what's your risk tolerance, what sports books you have, how much money you have available, and then building you by book by book. Use this book for this strategy. Use this book for this sport and this market. That's what coaching is all about, building you a step-by-step program where we're going to tell you everything that you need to know. So I'll drop a link here, guys, in the chat if you want to go over there and set up a free 30-minute call with me to see if you're a right fit for the program. One thing I want to sleep on, I did forget right before we head over to EV betting, is middle betting. Middle betting's fantastic. We look at this play here, Kent State, Central Michigan, probably not going to hit. There's probably a low chance, right, that this is going to hit. The only thing that could happen here is if Central Michigan and Kent State both score a touchdown, but Kent State misses the extra point and the first quarter ends 7-6. This is how you can cash a really awesome middle. This is an arbitrage play on its own. But on a play like this, I would literally load up a ton of money and bet $5.15 on Hard Rock and $500 on Caesars, and I'm going to make $15 no matter what happens. But if we get into that scenario where it's 7-6 after the end of the first quarter, or like 6-5 because 2 field goals and a safety or something, and then a field goal, then you're going to cash both bets. I know it's a very wild scenario, but it can happen. Mike Conley, ESPN bet Onyx, assuming this is still a play that's live and well. If Conley gets exactly 6 points, you cash the over on Onyx and the under on ESPN bet. So you don't just make a small profit. You make, depending on how much that you wager on this play, try to find some numbers that kind of work really well with one another. And obviously I'm struggling to do so. Let's go maybe 130. You can do 130 and 100, right? You're going to make maybe $1 in profit, but if he lands on 6 points, you cash both bets. It's a really big payout. So that's what you want to definitely take a look at. Appreciate you, Matt, man. Have a good night. Have a good night, man. Top Daily, always glad you can tune in again. Yeah, Chris, Kalshi, I mean, they're all a little different now, right? I mean, we weren't talking about Kalshi and Polymarket this time last year when I was sitting in blustering cold Pennsylvania. We weren't talking about the Kalshis of the world and what was going on, or Polymarkets, right? We were just still messing around with No Vig and Profit X. So we're changing things up just a little bit, guys, for positive EV betting for today. We're going looking at NBA player props. We're going to look at Pinnacle, and we're going to use worst case. We're going to keep this a little tighter, minus 150 to a plus 130 range. Nice tight range. All these plays you can really go after. Again, you might not have access to all the books that I have access out here, but the ones, don't be afraid to jump on this. Like with Russ, you can get this at Caesars or at FanDuel at 140 odds. That's still a 5% edge, guys. So while you can't get this maybe on MGM, if you're like me and you're limited to like $3, still a really good play on Caesars and FanDuel. Pinnacle, maybe they might have updated their odds a little bit. Let's see what they got. Or MGM did. You can see Pinnacle just moved about 30 minutes ago. There are a lot of times, guys, where I lean on FanDuel as a sharp sports book. You can see MGM just changed their odds because it was really good. I lean on FanDuel as a sharp sports book, but every now and then I do mix it up, and I do use Pinnacle as my sharp book. And this would be a play that I'd maybe go after on Caesars or on FanDuel for sure, because this looks just really, really good. It's not quite an ARB, but it looks decent. So let me go over to FanDuel and let me hit this up. I had to make a quick deposit into FanDuel because I ran out of money today, which is always nice. And one other thing that I want to mention, I've mentioned this in videos before, guys, but for those of you that have a bankroll and that you're trying to stick to your bankroll, remember, if you tell yourself that you have a $5,000 bankroll, but then you go and lose $2,500 and you can't stomach that, then you don't have a $5,000 bankroll. You have a $2,500 bankroll. Your emotional bankroll is really your true bankroll that you have. So don't forget about that, guys. Something just important to talk about when we're talking about bankrolls. All right, Russ, how much can I bet on this one? 133. At 140, what can we do this for? They're telling me I don't have that much money, so we're just going to go in for $100 right now on Russ. That'll leave me $50 over here. I'll share this link with you guys if anybody wants to grab it. Yeah, Caleb, I would 1,000% suggest that. Don't let anyone in here unit shame you. That is how you make money sports betting. If you can find an opportunity where you can middle, where you have a parlay where you hit one leg and then maybe you're waiting on the other leg and the other leg's looking pretty good, but you can create that middle opportunity, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a very smart thing to do. Guaranteeing that you're going to make a profit no matter what happens. I made a video about a year ago with Dan, Dr. Raz. He's the man. We talked about how hedging, creating that last leg to hedge can be very optimal for your expected growth of your bankroll. And so don't fall into the trap of just being happy with EV. Again, guys, this is how you can guarantee yourself a profit. Not every parlay that goes your way is going to win. And if you can create those opportunities where you can hedge those, that's always optimal. Obviously, that's not going to be the case for every parlay. Some parlays you put down $10, you got a chance to win 10 grand. That's going to be a little different of a story, right? But for the most part, that's something you can definitely do. Yeah, Chris, definitely don't smash stuff, man. I understand it's money and you're losing it, but it's definitely not worth smashing anything because the wins are going to come, the losses are going to go. It's just going to be how it works. Trust me. Don't worry about that too much. This plays an ARB on DraftKings, guys. Mobley over 7.5 boards. This is an ARB to Pinnacle. Anytime we talk about ARBs to Pinnacle, this is always a really good thing to attack. So this is on DraftKings. I'm looking at DraftKings right now, looking at Mobley. Let me double check the over-under to make sure it's still the same. Does not matter. Okay, we're going to go in for a 150 spot on this one just because I want to save a little bit of money for another bet there. That's a really good play on DraftKings. Evan Mobley, This game starts in like 25 minutes. So I'm all in on that. Anytime you can find these ARBs, I love that. Justin Edwards over on his PRA. This is an ARB to Pinnacle. This could be a palpable error. This could low-key be a palpable error. I don't know how I feel about this because it's not that it's not a good play, guys. It's just it's so far off. I don't know how to feel about it. Don't know. This is also an ARB with his player points. Love to hear that, John. Aaron, have I ever bet on Robinhood? I don't think I have. I downloaded I had the app and I got everything set up for there, but like for sports betting, but I don't think I've placed a bet there yet. Quentin Grimes over 2.5 threes. It's not an ARB at all, but let's see if this is any good. No, DraftKings just moved a ton. I don't like seeing, when we see this, guys, this is something I stay away from. I don't like seeing that. So we'll just kind of get off of that. Jakob Poeltl, Onyx, DraftKings. Even at 125, guys, this is still very good. If it moved to 125, that's no problem. Raptors, Sixers, we're looking at his rebounds. Looks like his over. So this is a very good play. Over 9.5 boards. That's where I only have $143 left in my DraftKings account, so that's where it's going to go. What are we getting? 10 plus? Yeah, there we go. And all right. Well, I just got it at 129 on DraftKings, so there we go. Okay. That's nice to see. Yeah, 129 again. That's an ARB to Pinnacle. You can see that we're picking on certain plays that are ARBs to Pinnacle. The plus odds number larger than the minus odds. The market's crossed. These are excellent plays that you always want to go after. So I would highly recommend Poeltl. No doubt about that. D'Angelo Russell on ESPN Bet. This is an ARB to Pinnacle. Definitely can get down with that. Always all about that. Any movement? Movement helps. Movement in the wrong direction. Don't love seeing the movement in the opposite direction. One sportsbook's going to be off on this Russell play. So I would still be happy to bet this over on ESPN. But if you took it at plus 120 odds, or 116, excuse me, on FanDuel, it's a 6.5% edge. Even though I don't love the movement, you could do that. Jamal Murray over 23.5 points. This is an ARB to Pinnacle as well. Pinnacle's moving a little bit more. And so I definitely like that. I only have $50 left in my FanDuel account. I'm out of money on DraftKings. You could say I'm being efficient with my bankroll because I'm just out of money. Pelicans and the Nuggets, player points. Murray to get 24. You have to go to his alt lines here, guys, to grab this. And we'll throw the $50, remaining $50 that I have on it. I can share this with you guys. There you go. Dr. Slips. Love that, man. Do not bet on Robinhood. They use the same market liquidity as Kalshi, for example, but they take a crazy amount of juice on every bet. Good to hear that. So, yeah, I can't say I've placed too many bets over on Robinhood. Not something that I've really done. I stick to more of the traditional books. I do have a Kalshi account. I probably place a bet on Kalshi here or there. Honestly, Kalshi's guys, that's a different game. You really need to be using some type of model or be a professional sports bettor in order to get in with those types of folks. If you have ProfitX and no VIG, I think that's plenty enough for you to be fine and utilize. Looks like Murray moved up to plus 115. You can get this on ESPN Bet or FanDuel. Eamon Thompson under 5.5. Okay. Yeah, I mean it's an ARB to Pinnacle. Anytime you're finding these ARBs, guys, with cross markets, it's always something you want to go after. This is a low hold, right? As we start to get lower on this page, you're not going to see the ARBs to Pinnacle, but you'll see a low hold where I could bet $112 on Pinnacle, $100 on FanDuel, and you're not going to win or lose any money. So this is a great bet to go after as well. If we jump into like the movement here with Josh Hart, obviously FanDuel moved down and they kind of came back up. They were agreeing with Pinnacle about an hour ago. Pinnacle's just been chilling here. And all these little circles that you see on my map here, guys, that means that's Pinnacle's odds adjusting right there. So, the circles here, the dots here, every time my mouse stops, that's a dot. That means that Pinnacle was updating their odds again. So we got a lot going on, man. So much going on with the NBA. And betting $47, Jack, that's not terrible when it comes to that. Yeah, figure that DraftKings, I mean, sometimes, guys, when we saw like the Edwards plays earlier, Justin Edwards of the Sixers, when it's that far off, I actually don't like to bet those because I feel like it's an actual error on the sports book, and normally you'll get punished by the books for hitting them up on that kind of play. Man, we're just moving right along. Already 40 minutes into the stream. What else do we kind of need to take a look at here? What's the promos on FanDuel? Even though I'm out of dough, we got 25% boost on NHL. You could choose your reward right now. Could have used the 50% profit boosts. Forgot about that. Okay. All right. We got some good stuff over here. We talked about the Mobley play. We got that earlier. What price we got that? What, 127? No, we got it at 127. Yeah. Still a good play, though, over here at minus 126. A lot of Sports Zeno plays. Russ, this looks really good. Clay, okay. There's just so much. So let me go over here now. And let's go and give FanDuel a little love because I think FanDuel's a sharp book as well. If there is a question, guys, that I was unable to answer in the stream, please email me or DM me. Don't hesitate to reach out. No questions dumb. I know where you've been. I started at the very beginning with this with sports betting 4+ years ago. I started just like everybody else, betting parlays, tailing whatever my buddies were betting. Seemed like a good idea at the time until you lose like every single weekend. You're like, why am I doing this? So if we're looking at MGM is back, guys, so you can go after them. You can attack them. They're back in the saddle here. I would imagine that most of us in the stream right now are limited on MGM, but this is where you can start to bet, some different plays. Again, I've talked about this in videos past. If you're limited on MGM, still bet these plays. Still bet them. There's plenty of people out. The people that are willing to grind, and I don't mean to say it like this, the people that aren't quitters, that once they get limited on MGM, guess what they keep doing? They keep betting positive EV plays over at MGM. Even if they can only bet $10, $20 a play, you can grind out hundreds of dollars of profit on a sports book in a given month. You can definitely do it. You can grind out these limited accounts until you get down to maybe $1 or so. And then once you get down to $1, that's when I would start firing off SGPs, firing off parlays that are like 10 legs. And if you can only bet $1, like you make like $30, right? I know it might not sound like optimal, but so many people, once they get limited to like $40, $50, they just like stop betting on the account. And I don't understand why. Would love for someone to explain to me why they quit betting on their accounts, because there's still money to be made on that account. And I'm not talking you can make like $100 or $200. Like you can make over $1,000. No problem at all. Easy with $40, $50 limits on MGM. And then if you get limited pregame betting, guys, on a book, great time to maybe try that book at live betting to get yourself some practice and reps at live betting. Right now, it's the perfect testing grounds for trying out a sports book where you can't wager as much as you want to. And so you can now test out different strategies like round robin betting, like SGPs, traditional parlays, long shot parlays. These are all things that you can do. Or maybe you have a hunch that there's a market out there that you think you can beat MGM at. Maybe it's like first baskets or first three-pointer. Right? Maybe watch a lot of Houston Rockets basketball, and this dude's always taking the three first. This is where you can test out different theories and strategies for small amounts of money. Track these plays. See if you can find an edge. These are all things you can do on a limited account. I would highly advise that you still ferociously attack these books, even on limited accounts. It'll be well worth your time. Trust me. And it's honestly going to be an easier path to profitability. And so this is something that I need to do on Ballybet because I'm very limited on Ballybet. So to kind of run through an example, right? Let's go over to Pinnacle. And if you guys don't know, this is like my 19th, not really my 19th, but this is an account that I'm very limited on. And so let's go main markets as well. Okay. And I'm going to come over here to Ballybet. And I don't know what Ballybet's going to let me bet, but it's not going to be much. Yeah, Master Cool. Obviously, you can making markets on No Vig and Profit X. It's another great thing that you can do over there. All right, so let me just roll through these first four, right? Post, White, Murray, Wizards plus 19. Okay. By the way, this Wizards plus 19, I wonder how much I can bet on this as we're getting closer to tip. Minus 134 odds. If I open this play up, you can see Pinnacle's taking a lot of money. They moved a little bit. They're taking $20,000. I mean, I know the Wizards, guys. I know they're garbage. I know. But, I mean, you give me enough points, and they will cover the spread at some point. So, plus 19, minus 134. I got like $270 in this account. So, they're telling me, by the way, to bet 240. So, let's try a 250 spot. $38.60. No problem. I'll take that all day long. So $38.60 on a straight wager. So let me throw this in, okay? So now let's run a three-leg parlay over here, okay, where I'm going to take, I know I bet Murray once, but it's fine. I'll take Murray, I'll take Kobe, and I'll take Quentin. These are all overs, okay? Now it's going to take me a fat minute to like put this together, so just bear with me. But this is something that I'm just interested in. You're like, all right, let me try this strategy out. Let's just try betting three-leg parlays. And if this is something, guys, that you're going to start implementing today, I would highly advise that you just track your picket. Sync your sports book up to picket and know that on this day, you're only making three-leg parlays on Ballybet using the positive EV tool. That's the only thing you're going to bet. Player made threes, Kobe White. To make three or more, beautiful. And then we'll come over here. It's a slightly worse price. Let me go down to his over-unders. That's probably it there. Yep. Okay. And then let me go over to Jamal Murray. And I know that this is a traditional three-leg parlay, so I know I'm not going to have any issues at all getting the correct price on this play. 106, perfect. So I should be receiving odds of plus 747. And guess what? I'm receiving odds of plus 748. I'll try to bet $100. They won't let me do it. They'll let me bet 38 cents. All right, maybe my point is a little moot right now at the moment, but we'll grind this out for 38 cents. So why would I do this? If you're new to betting parlays, then I think that this is a great place for you for the rest of the next couple of weeks or months. Bet parlays on this soft book. And the objective isn't so much for you to make a ton of money. It's for you to actually win some of these parlays, experience the variance at a fraction of the cost, right? A fraction of the cost. Then you can track your results and say, I'm actually doing pretty well betting parlays. Let's now implement this same strategy on other sports books. And it's going to give you more confidence moving forward. All right, so I'm in for 38 cents. I thought, honestly, I was going to be able to get a little bit more down than that. But that's okay. It is what it is. So little things that you guys can do. Obviously, the mainline markets, I'm able to still wager maybe 40-some bucks. So why don't I just go after mainline markets? Like maybe I can bet some ladders on the Wizards. Maybe not. I could take the over in this Nuggets game. I could take maybe the Pelicans on the spread. There's definitely some different things that I could do, and I could easily empty out this bank account on this play, on this account. Take the over 232. What is it? Minus 124. 232.5, excuse me. 232.5 at minus 118. And, I would love to bet $100 on this play. They won't let me do it, but they'll probably let me bet 25 to 30 bucks. 2044. Like there's an extra $50, guys. If both those bets hit on the two basketball plays that we just put together, it's an extra $50 in profit. And this can be some of the easiest money that you can make. And if you lose, then the good news is it's for a lesser price. You're not putting up as much money. So just focus on the mainline markets, right? And do something like that. All right. Speaking of mainline markets, let's go over to Bookmaker. Let's look at some college basketball. Let's see what we got over here. Bookmaker, worst case, leagues. Let's click off. Let's look at college hoops. We got anything? We got 3. More books. More books, Billy. 33. Okay, Bryant plus 25.5. I doubt that anywhere other sports book is offering this. Next best price is over at ESPN Bet. It's not even close. That's a Hard Rock specific only bet. This game starts in 10 minutes, though. If I was to bet this on Hard Rock, that's where I would go. Bet openly. Great sports book, guys. Like a peer-to-peer sports book. A little bit differently than peer-to-peer, but it's very similar. You can't create your own odds. I mean, you can create your own bets, but you can't create your own odds like NoVig or ProfitX. Alabama, Illinois. This should be a dandy of a basketball game. Illinois -3. Big matchup here. Plus 109 looks very good for a low amount of money. If I had money and bet openly, I would for sure bet that one. North Dakota plus 27.5. DraftKings Onyx. Okay, not much movement really here from any of the sharp books, but this looks to be a very good play. And while Pinnacle is taking $3,000 on this play, this is, again, if you guys have Bookmaker or can create an account with Bookmaker, you can take a look at their limits. Also, for any of you that don't know, the video that I dropped today that talked about the sharp money tool in Bet 105. Bet 105 is an offshore sports book. So it's not one of those that you have to like take a look at your state to see if you can access it. It's just an offshore sports book. We're looking at what, Creighton? All right, North Dakota plus 27.5. I want to see how much money Bookmaker's taking. I know the Pinnacle's taking $3K, but I want to know what they're taking. And they're taking almost $11,000. So a lot of confidence for me over here betting North Dakota. I want to see if I have any money left here in Onyx. I know I'm out of money on DraftKings. Oh, yeah, I got some Onyx money. Let's hit this up. So North Dakota plus 27.5. Can I get it without the odds changing? Yeah, I can. Awesome. So we get this on Onyx right now, guys. I'm just out of money on DraftKings. That's why we're hitting this up over here. And we get a plus 105 odds. I put it for 150. So I'm very happy. There we go. Again, guys, pre-game betting for Onyx. You can still find some plays that are actually viable. There you go, to Juice. There you go, man. Damn, we almost got 70 people on here. Appreciate you guys that are tuning in. And the poll, when I asked anyone in here not limited on Dabble, 43% said yes, not limited out of 49 votes. So for those of you that aren't limited on Dabble, obviously there was a big strike on everybody getting limited the past couple of days. Ooh, Wyoming money line? Damn, I'm out of money. It's a lower edge play, but still, when you can see a money line play for college hoops, yeah, I kind of like that one a little bit more. How much are they taking? But yes, definitely, count your blessings with Dabble. You're still going to be able to make some really good money. Wyoming and Sam Houston State, or just Sam Houston. How much are they taking on this? They're taking $3,000. Pinnacle's taking $2,000. So extra $1,000. They have it. They actually have it at plus 107. So looks still pretty good, though. Okay. This Bryant play, I might try to sneak in really quickly. Might be too late because the game it hasn't started yet. But I want to see what's going on here because I do have a Hard Rock account. If I'm going to place a bet, guys, on a game, it's going to be right before it starts. That's what I want to take a look at. Bryant, they have the 25.5. They have this at minus 131, but they're only taking $1,300 on this. I don't like that low liquidity. If this was like Kentucky versus Arkansas, I would have more more confidence because it's more money, but I'll stay away from this play with Bryant. Bet 105. Speaking of Bet 105, in this same basketball game, the over-under looks like Pinnacle moved a lot. I don't like seeing that movement, guys, so I'll probably stay away from betting the over here. For my Circa people, Valpo, looks like that changed. What else we have here? Stetson +2 against Howard. Yeah, these are smaller schools, guys. Less money available. Looks like they just updated their odds, though, to -133. The under, this is kind of, we're getting a little low here on Bracco, so I'm probably just going to call it a day for college hoops right now. Damn, moving pretty quick. Absolute trash. They're getting prostituted tonight, the Juice. Appreciate that, man. Dustin be using OddsJam for 1 week. Didn't have a good week in Hard Rock. Limited me. Yeah, Dustin, I mean, that's going to happen nowadays with the soft books. If this was 2021 or 2022, you would have a lot longer leash. But if you're only placing sharp bets after sharp bet after sharp bet, like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream on Hard Rock, that is a way that you'll get limited, right? If you don't mix in your action and mix in a parlay for a lower amount of money or a long shot parlay, and you're just placing really sharp bets and getting great pricing, these soft books will kick you out. So it's no surprise to me that you got limited on Hard Rock. This happens with people on Fanatics and BetMGM and BetRivers and Ballybet, Bet365. With Fanatics, it can come down to you placing like your first 5 bets. And if you show them that you know what you're doing, it's trouble. The biggest problem is that when you open up an account with a sports book, we talked about this yesterday on the stream, this is your trial. This is your tryout. These books want to see who you are, what you're made of. What times do you like to bet? What bets do you like to place? Do you bet overs? Do you bet unders? Do you bet parlays? And so if you're just ripping straight bets, it's a pretty clear indicator to the person that works at the sports book that's reviewing your account to try to figure out. They're trying to figure out what bucket to put you in. Rec, casual, or sharp, better. And if you show them anything that you know what you're doing, it can lead to limits a lot quicker than others. So it can happen. If you do that on FanDuel, not nearly as bad. But with Hard Rock and the softer books, it can definitely happen. Guys, I got to run because I have a dinner date that I have to head out to. I do apologize cutting this a couple minutes short under the hour mark. I will be on tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, and we will be streaming tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. It's Thursday Night Football. Big night. We're going to be looking at main market plays for college football in the NFL, NHL, NBA, college basketball in the morning. And then in the evening, it's going to be all NFL props, NBA props, all kinds of props. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Check out the video that just dropped. Let me know if it's awesome or if it sucks. Otherwise, guys, have an awesome Wednesday, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.